I found out that my girlfriend is opening her legs to our neighbor. She hates now her perfect life has turned into a nightmare because he gave her a disease. You know how they say you never really know someone until you've walked a mile in their shoes? Well, I found out the hard way that you never really know someone until you found out they've been screwing your neighbor. Yeah, my girlfriend, the one who always had something nasty to say about the guy next door, was opening her legs to him. And now her perfect life is spiraling into a nightmare because he gave her a disease. It all started about 6 months ago. My name's Alaric, by the way. Alaric Ellsworth. I've been with my girlfriend Elspeth for almost 3 years. We lived in this quiet suburban neighborhood where everyone knew everyone. Our next door neighbor, Reginald, was the typical bachelor, always having parties, loud music, and let's just say, he wasn't shy about his female company. Elspeth always claimed to hate him. "He's so disgusting, Alaric. I can't stand how he brings a different girl home every night," she'd say, her face twisted in disgust. Little did I know that while she was judging him, she was also sleeping with him. One day, I was home early from work, feeling under the weather. I walked into our living room and noticed Elspeth's phone buzzing non-stop on the coffee table. Now, I'm not usually the type to snoop, but curiosity got the best of me. I picked up her phone and saw dozens of messages from Reginald. My heart sank as I read through their conversation. They were sexting, talking about their last rendezvous and making plans for their next. I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. I was furious, heartbroken, and nauseous all at once. I confronted Elspeth that night. She tried to deny it at first, but when I showed her the messages, she broke down in tears. "Alaric, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. It was a mistake," she sobbed. "A mistake? A mistake is spilling coffee on your shirt. Fucking our neighbor isn't a mistake, Elspeth," I yelled, my voice echoing through the house. She cried harder, but I had no sympathy left. I stormed out of the house and crashed at a friend's place that night. The next day, I decided to confront Reginald. I couldn't just let this go. I knocked on his door, and he answered with a smug grin. "Alaric, to what do I owe the pleasure?" he asked, leaning against the doorframe. "You know damn well why I'm here, Reginald. How long has this been going on?" I demanded. He shrugged nonchalantly. "A few months, give or take." I clenched my fists, trying to control my anger. "You knew she was my girlfriend, and you still did this?" "Hey, it takes two to tango, mate. She came to me," he said, that infuriating smirk still plastered on his face. I wanted to punch him right then and there, but I held back. Instead, I just glared at him and said, "You're a piece of shit, Reginald." He laughed. "And you're a fool, Alaric. She's not as perfect as you think." I walked away, fuming. I couldn't believe the audacity of that bastard. But it wasn't just him I was mad at. Elspeth had betrayed me in the worst possible way, and I didn't know if I could ever forgive her. The next few weeks were hell. Elspeth tried everything to win me back. She apologized, cried, and even begged, but I couldn't get over the betrayal. I moved out and stayed with my friend Eustace, who was more than happy to lend me his couch. During this time, I found out through mutual friends that Elspeth had started feeling unwell. At first, I didn't care. I was still too angry to give a damn about her. But then I heard whispers that she had contracted an STD from Reginald. Apparently, he wasn't as clean as he looked. Eustace was the one who broke the news to me. "Mate, I heard something about Elspeth. She's not just sick. She's got something down there," he said, awkwardly scratching his head. I felt a pang of pity, but quickly brushed it off. "Serves her right," I muttered, but as the days went by, my anger started to wane, replaced by a sense of sadness and betrayal. I remembered all the good times we had, and it hurt to see her in pain, even if she had brought it on herself. I decided to check up on her, if only to see how she was holding up. When I visited her, she looked like a shadow of her former self. She was pale, with dark circles under her eyes. She broke down when she saw me. "Alaric, I'm so sorry. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm begging you, please," she cried. I sighed, sitting down beside her. "Elspeth, I don't know if I can ever forgive you, but I also don't want to see you suffer." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I understand. I've ruined everything. Reginald... He gave me chlamydia. I'm so scared, Alaric. Despite everything, I couldn't help but feel sorry for her. I helped her get to a doctor and start her treatment, but the damage was done, both physically and emotionally. Our relationship was beyond repair, and she knew it. Elspeth tried to make amends by cutting off all contact with Reginald and focusing on her health. She moved out of our house and went to stay with her sister in a different town. I continued living with Eustace, trying to piece my life back together. During this time, I did a lot of soul-searching. I realized that, while I could never trust Elspeth again, holding on to my anger wasn't going to help me move on. I decided to let go of my hatred and focus on healing. I started going out more, reconnecting with old friends, and even started dating again. But the experience had left a scar, and it took a long time before I could fully trust anyone. As for Reginald, he continued with his wild lifestyle, seemingly unaffected by the chaos he had caused. But karma has a funny way of catching up with people. A few months later, I heard that he had been evicted from his house due to complaints from the neighbors about his constant parties and loud music. Good riddance, I thought. It's been a year since all this went down. I've moved on and started a new chapter in my life. I met someone new, a wonderful woman named Beatrix, who's been a breath of fresh air. We take things slow, and she understands my trust issues. Elspeth reached out to me a few months ago. She wanted to apologize again and let me know she was doing better. She had found a new job, was in therapy, and was trying to rebuild her life. I wished her well, but kept my distance. Some wounds take longer to heal, and I needed my space. Looking back, I realized that while what Elspeth did was unforgivable, it taught me a lot about myself and what I want in a relationship. I learned the importance of trust, communication, and respect. And most importantly, I learned to value myself and not settle for someone who doesn't value me. So, there you have it, folks. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at you, but it's how you deal with them that defines who you are. I'm just glad I came out of this stronger and wiser. And to anyone going through something similar, remember, you deserve better, and you will get through this.